Peace, y'all. I am just finishing up a very late lunch. Probably gonna get a snacky snack in a minute. But I just watched a really powerful live on YouTube from Queen Cup Tarot. And okay, let me finish this. It was about, well, y'all don't need to know what it was about. Basically, I would like to talk about do you know your gifts? Because I feel like all of us are gifted, but we view ourselves as unworthy because as children and even as adults, we were constantly told that we are nothing, right? By society, by our parents sometimes, by friends, by anybody outside of yourself. And so I think it's important for us to realize that we are gifted. And I'm gonna just tell y'all a quick story that helped me to really tap into my power. And it really helped me realize that I was gifted and I wasn't gonna let nobody disrespect me. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna just tell y'all the story. So I was dating this guy and I was telling him that, you know, like my gifts, and, you know, like I thought I predicted something psychically, right? And I couldn't remember because sometimes I wasn't at the point when I was writing down my dreams and stuff. But I was like, somebody famous had died. And I didn't know that they weren't already dead. Because in my dream, they were already dead. So I had predicted that they were going to die. But I didn't know because I didn't remember my dream until I saw like a post online saying they were dead. And I was like, I thought they were already dead. Like I dreamt about this. And so it all came back to me. So I was telling this partner about that. And they were like laughing because I said that I had, like, I was like, I have my psychic gifts. And I was like, I have a lot of gifts, but I'm still uncovering them. And he laughed at me. And I was like, I felt instantly insecure and just like, well, maybe you don't have any gifts. Maybe you're just tripping, you know, all the things that I did to invalidate myself. And of course, I ended up staying with that man for like much longer than I needed to. But it was an important lesson for me to learn that I need to stand on the fact that I have gifts. And I think there's a lot of us that are gifted, but we are unwilling to face the fact that we're gifted because it's scary, especially if you are a person that was raised in religion like I was. I was raised in a church and I was like, that's the devil, that's that voodoo, that's that hoodoo, whatever the hell. I was like, that ain't of, you know, love and light. That's some demonic shit. And it's not, because it's a powerful gift. And it's honestly just a matter of how you use your gifts. Because I feel like at minimum, all of us have intuition. And that is a gift, to tap into your intuition, to tap into your own inner knowing. And instead of downplaying what you know and trying to, you know, make yourself feel smaller than you are, I think you need to empower yourself and say, I am gifted. And it's just up to me to figure out what my gifts are, because we don't know. We weren't taught, we weren't raised to like explore our gifts. We were raised to, you know, be a part of this system. We were raised to, like, I'm picturing like you know how at a factory where like they just put stuff out, like the same product over and over and over again. That's what we were raised to be, is to be more similar. And I'm not saying we're not connected and we aren't similar in different ways, but each one of us has a unique gift and more than one gift. And if we are so adamant about being like everybody else, you cannot embrace your unique, sorry, that smoke keeps scaring me. You cannot embrace your own uniqueness, and you cannot embrace your own gifts because you're like, well, they like this and everybody likes that. And you know, just trying to be like other people. And I get it, right? Because as humans, we desire to feel connection. We desire to feel like we belong. And one of my friends, Jackie, told me, like, historically, like, our ancestors that were like, the people that, you know, when monkeys turned into humans and shit, that's what they say. Like, it was part of our innate nature. Like, for protection, you had to be a part of the pack. And if you were an outlier, nigga, you could probably die. Like, you would get left behind. And so some of that is us tapping into that, of being like, well, I have to belong. It's safer to belong. It feels safer to belong and be like everybody else. But in some instances, maybe, you know, I talk a lot on my platform about finding your aligned tribe and being around people that, you know, can uplift you and can see you for the real you. But don't get it confused. Don't get it confused, because I also talk about how you evolve, and I just dropped a TikTok about how you evolve, and you may evolve out of certain relationships. And so if you are so adamant again about belonging with certain people and in certain areas, you will reject and resist your own evolution, period. So comment, I think I know mine, but I just can't explain it so people can understand. People don't need to understand. You need to understand. So if you got to do your work, do your work. If you feel like, start writing it down. If you feel like your gift is a certain thing and you have an experience, and then we on TikTok all the time. A lot of people on here are talking about psychics and, how to tap into our gifts as far as like being clairvoyant, clairaudient, all of that. And so it's a lot of information on the internet. So if you're having experiences, look it up, do your research. And I'm not saying this to yell at you. I'm a tough lover. If you're new here, I talk very bluntly, and that's something that I get from my ancestors. Specifically, I think it's from my grandma Rose. Shout out to you. So it's important for you to be like, okay, this is something that I'm getting to know. And also, don't try to explain it to people until you're ready, because you will open yourself up to insecurity. Like the story I said when I first got on here, I was saying, like, I was talking about my gifts with somebody and they laughed at me, right? So what that was, it was not a space for me to say, oh, it was not an invitation for me to no longer believe in my gifts. It was an invitation for me to choose myself and say, I'm not going to be around that person because they obviously don't see me. Because I have just met people, and we shared energy for maybe a few hours or a few days, and they saw my gifts without me having to say shit, right? About like, I think I have this. So if people are around you and they're not affirming you, that's just a sign that you need to move around, period. You just got to move around. Y'all, I'm sitting in the sun and it's nice, but it's hot. I got on a skirt. But that's basically, what our journeys are about. Is like being our own validator. We love to be validated by other people, and I understand and I resonate with that because it makes you feel good when people see you. I don't know if it's my Leo moon, but I love to be seen. I love people to be like, good job. I love to hear that. I love to know that. But like, Spirit has been pushing me to do that for myself, because for other people to do it, it's just a bonus. Because I'm supposed to love me. I'm supposed to validate me. I'm supposed to support me. Because as I said, as I evolve, I will not always be around the same people. And those that I love, like my mom, she always gonna be with me, right? But there will be a time where she will no longer be in this earthly realm. And if I'm only depending on her to provide my validation, what I'm gonna do when she gone? Of course, I sit at my ancestor altar, but like, what if she not finna be telling me through my dreams? So like, it's really important for us to validate ourselves. And I was listening to this podcast episode today by Dr. Tama, the Homecoming podcast, and it was an episode specific on self-validation. So if you struggle with that, look it up. I don't remember what number episode it was, but she was like basically talking about what I'm talking about. Like we really got to move away from asking other people to affirm us and clap for us. Of course it's nice. Of course, it would be lovely for people to affirm you and see you for who you are. But if you haven't even seen you for who you are, how they gonna do it? Everything I talk about, everything I do with my clients is about you doing it for you first. It's not saying that you don't deserve it from other people regardless, because as a kid, of course, you didn't know how to love on yourself. That was really up to your parents and those that were in your village to love on you and uplift you. But if you didn't get that, and now you're an adult and you feeling like you don't know how to do that, and now it's time to tap in. Like, you have agency over your life now. You can't blame nobody else for where you at. Period. That's the best when others can see the gift in you without you having to explain. Absolutely. It's very affirming. And that is when you know that Spirit is looking out and watching you and giving you what you need in whatever moment that you need it, because you always gonna have what you need. Of course we are going to doubt ourselves. Of course we are going to be fearful about our true power, of course, because it seems astronomical. I don't know what the fucking word is. It seems like way out there for you to think you are powerful when everybody your whole life told you ain't shit. And they ain't have to say the words you ain't shit. They just had to show you that they thought you wasn't shit. And so for me, I'm gonna speak for me to grow up and come to this age right now and see my power and say, wow, I am powerful. Sometimes I am in disbelief. Sometimes I doubt it. Because that's just what my experience was. And it's important for me to acknowledge that. And, affirm that. I'm growing. Affirm that I don't always know. Affirm that sometimes I need to be validated. And so that's when you can ask for what you need. Ask and you shall receive. This is not a blunt. This is sage. Why would I be on TikTok smoking a blunt? TikTok be banning people for that. This is not a blunt. This is sage. Okay. I'm cleansing the energy because it's the internet. You funny, but it did look like it was a blunt. I ain't gonna lie. It do look like a blunt, but TikTok don't ban me. This is definitely sage. This is not a blunt. This is a cleansing of energy. That was funny though. Damn, that made me lose my train of thought. But basically, you gotta love on yourself. You got to love on you. You got to honor you. You got to uplift you and honor your gifts. Validate your gifts and they will expose themselves to you even more. Period. Look, I got some crazy experiences that I've been, going through myself with lately. And I start to think back to childhood. I start to think back to, just times before now where I'm like, oh, that's what that was. That's crazy. I think I'm clairaudient, but I don't know how to get in tune with it more. Just open yourself up to it. Open yourself up to it. Invite the energy invite your gifts to reveal themselves. You are a magical, powerful being. And if you believe that, you will see that. So you gotta believe it. So if you think you're clairaudient, tap in, look up clairaudience, start doing your research, if you know other people on these apps, there's a lot of people that talk about their gifts or that talk about, teaching people how to develop their gifts. Tap in. If you want to learn more about something, you're going to have to invest. We are so used to investing in the material shit, the physical things, and they're cute, baby, because best believe I love a luxurious life and I'm manifesting and living a luxurious life. Okay. That is the life that I'm meant to live because I love that shit. And it's important for me to acknowledge that there are certain feelings that I desire to experience in my lifetime. And that is more than any physical thing that I can ever have, because no matter where I go, even if I end up with nothing, I'm gonna be good because I got peace, right? Peace is priceless. There is not a number that I can put on peace and somebody can be like, well, you can take my peace now because you gave me this amount of money. Hell no. Absolutely not. Not you slaying the house down, Boots Houston, I'm deceased. What? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying at all. But yeah, you have to do your work. You're going to have to invest some time, some energy. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the funds, the finances for it, because I've been there, trust me. I'm also still, unlearning the scarcity mindset. I'm unlearning, my thought that I am impoverished because I've had an impoverished experience. I'm unlearning that and I'm relearning my abundance and my ability to tap into my abundance, my material abundance. Okay. So there's been times where I haven't had the money, but I've wanted to invest in myself. So you know what I did? I went to Google. I went to YouTube. I did what I could with what I had. So many times we say, oh, I don't have access to wealth. I can't do nothing. Baby, you can learn anything on this internet. Pick up a book. Go to a library. If you want to know about it, you are going to find a way. And so many of us, me included, like the easy way. We live in a society of instant gratification. We live in a place where we want things quick, fast, in a hurry. We want somebody to be look at you and tell you, oh, you have this gift. Okay, this is what you got to do. Babe, this journey is about you learning. This journey is about you figuring out who you are. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen over 6 months. I mean, you might get some work in, you might get a good amount of work in, but it's not going to happen quickly. So what we need to release is this idea that you're going to figure it out and have this big ass epiphany and be like, oh my God, I'm a magical being. You're going to go sit on the top of a mountain and meditate till you die. Like, nah, boo, that's not how this works. You will uncover your gifts. You will uncover who you are. You will uncover the depths of your truth over time. So this is a part of being patient with yourself as well. Patience is a part of the process. Creating spaces for grounding and peace throughout your journey is a part of the process. Nothing is immediate. But best believe when those epiphanies hit, that shit is worth it. Yes, right? And I'm learning to be patient as well. You have to be patient. Especially like what I said, like we have been taught so many things about ourselves through media, okay, I'm gonna just say this. Some of y'all might need to just like unplug, stop watching the news, stop watching TV, because you're too easily influenced, especially when you desire to learn something. We may not know where to look, so we look everywhere. And I've done that, and I still do that sometimes too. And so, especially like if you're one of those like serial reader watchers, like serial tarot reading watchers, looking for the answers, I tell everybody, my clients, I tell everybody, stop looking for answers outside of yourself. So if you're looking for something and you want to know the answers to something, you got to start with you. Nobody, even me, can give you the answers. If anything, Spirit uses me as a vessel to communicate in a way that you would understand. So if people that book readings with me, they get the clarity they need, I'm not giving you something you don't already know. And one of my favorite readers I follow, Roseology, she says that before every reading. She was like, before you pick a deck or any of that, know that if you came here looking for answers, you're not going to get them. Everything that I reveal in these cards is confirmation for what you already know. I'm not telling you your future. I'm not a fortune teller. You create your future in the here and now with the actions that you take. And if you think that me telling you something is going to change your future, you are disempowering yourself. How many times have you been scrolling on TikTok and you got one TikTok that says one thing, a reader saying one thing, and then the next TikTok says the exact opposite? Spirit will confuse you on purpose so that you can listen to you. Stop looking for answers. Stop looking for answers from random people. Okay, if you haven't hired a specific coach, if you haven't hired a reader, if you haven't hired, these people, but you won't, why? They're reading for a collective. They're reading for a lot of people. The message is not always going to resonate. You got to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And sometimes you just got to unplug overall. There are sometimes I just don't watch tarot readings because I know I get caught up. I mean, I do like watching them shuffle in general. Like, I'm a tarot reader myself. I think it's beautiful. That was one of the first things that drew me to tarot, was seeing them shuffle. I'm just like, that shit's so beautiful. And so, like, I really think I was a reader in the past life, because when I picked up my first deck, I did not know how to shuffle. But, like, it's such a beautiful experience. And, like, that's how you know something is for you, when you are drawn to it. So I don't know if some of y'all are feeling like, well, I don't know what's for me, or, what is my gift and all these other things. Pay attention to what you're drawn to naturally. Don't start to be like, well, this is what my friends are doing. Because I know a lot of people on this app, there's a lot of young people on this app, children on this app, and you want to fit in. And that's okay. That's normal. That is literally how we protect ourselves. It's like, when we stand out, you're vulnerable to attack. You know what I'm saying? So it's important for you to know who you are. Tap in with you. What do you love? What are you naturally drawn to? And if you're at a place where you're not ready to share with other people what you're drawn to, keep it with yourself. Keep it sacred within you. Even for those of you who don't feel like you can talk to your family about it. I've been there too. Like I told y'all, I was raised in the church. And when I started my awakening, I was at a point where I had to move back in with my family. My mother was a Bible thumper, babe. She was a Bible thumper. And I'm over here reading tarot cards. She like, I know you ain't bring the devil up in here. She ain't saying, but I felt it. Then I start coming up in there with these rocks and shit, according to them. And I'm talking about Mercury being in retrograde. They like Mercury and Gatorade and all of this. I'm talking about planets and all this other shit. And it was not really safe for me to talk about the things that I was interested in, but I had to keep practicing. because it was for me. It was what I was called to do. It was what I was drawn to. And I'm so grateful that I did that. That built up my thick ass skin for me to come on this app, knowing that people do not like, difference. And the things that I say, like I told y'all, I only coach Black women. Like I told y'all, I now only read tarot for Black people. That's really scary to do, because I don't like being talked about. I don't like people saying bad shit about me. But I'm opening myself up to that. But why? Because I want those that are looking for me to be able to find me clearly. If I'm over here trying to appease everybody and do what everybody want me to do, I'm not serving who I'm supposed to serve. That's not my calling, to serve everybody. And some of y'all trying to serve everybody. Some of y'all trying to be there for everybody. You literally can't do it. You literally can't. As soon as you said bringing the devil in here, that triggered me. Look, my mother, I love my mother. She knew what she knew. And she knows what she knows. And she had her experience. It's not up to me to judge her experience or judge her reality. It's up to me to live my own. And I love my mother. We're still great, just so y'all know, but if you are estranged from family, that's a hard place to be in. I've had that experience as well. But that's part of you becoming your own person. That's part of you truly showing love to yourself. Think about it this way. We really like to feel love from other people, right? You know exactly what you want them to do. You could tell them, well, if you did this, it would make me feel love. If you did that, it would make me feel love. If you did that, I would feel like my heart would be beating up out my chest. Why aren't you doing those things for yourself? Why aren't you making space to show yourself that love, unconditional love? Because we be real conditional with ourselves. I'ma love me until I make a mistake. Then I dismiss me. I throw me away. I'm an idiot. I'm dumb. I'm always messing up. That's what you're telling yourself. And instead of saying welcoming yourself in, but you're so forgiving of everybody else. You're so easily understanding of how they could have done something. And I did an affirmation on this as well about self-forgiveness. That's unconditional love. If you should be showing unconditional love to anybody, it should be yourself. Stop loving yourself with conditions. Stop saying that I only deserve this when this happens. And this is why you start to attract relationships around you that show you exactly how you feel about yourself. Because people abandon you when you fuck up. And you're like, see, I was right. I'm not worthy. Self-fulfilling prophecy. What do you believe about yourself? And it may be hard for you to face what you believe about yourself, but that's step number 1. Because once you know what you believe about yourself, if it's something that you don't want to believe anymore, you can decide to believe something different. And that's step 1. That's literally, y'all, I don't know who on here right now, but I am a spiritual coach for Black women, right? So I have a 3-month coaching program called the Get Your Shit Together program. In the first month of the program, the first session, what we doing? Talking about belief systems. Because we can't go nowhere. We can't go nowhere until you know where you at. I can't try to take you to the reality that you desire until I know where you are. Think about Google Maps. They not finna give you directions to something. They like, where are you going from? Are you starting from your current location? Are you going from somewhere? Where are you going? Where are you starting from? So you can't go nowhere until you know where you at. So if you don't know what you believe about yourself, you just out here believing shit and you don't even know, because a lot of these are subconscious beliefs. A lot of these beliefs were formed in our formative years, and you're not consciously aware that this is what I believe about myself. But that's your strong ass belief. You operate in alignment with your beliefs. So this is why affirmations don't work for some of y'all, because you're saying words, but you're not acting in alignment with those words. You're saying I love myself, but you don't show love to yourself. Except for when you go get your nails done. Except for when you go get your hair done. Except for when you do the superficial shit. But you don't love yourself despite your struggles. You only choose yourself when it's convenient. And I've been there. Only choosing me when it's convenient, but then I'm mad as fuck that other people doing the same thing. I'm like, why they only choosing me when it's easy? Literally, these are the words I'm saying. And I'm like, wait a minute. Don't I do that? I choose myself. I choose to be disciplined and do the things that serve me when it's easy to do them. I really struggle with that. That is something that me and my ancestors are working through, because I like things that are easy. When they're hard, you can count me out. I don't want to be there, because I'm also very gifted. Naturally, I can pick up on things very easily. So if there's something that I want to do and then I can't pick up on it, babe, I'm not doing it. And this is not my reality anymore. This is old Lonnie, right? I'm evolving into a new Lonnie. And so, example, painting. I've always desired to paint. I've always wanted to be an artist. If you ever watch She's Gotta Have It, that's who I wanted to be. Not the, sleeping with everybody. No shade. But that just wasn't that's on my steez. But I've always wanted to paint. And I'm like, and I've never been good at it. Like, I would go to art classes. I would do the paint and sips, and everybody's art to me looked better than me. I'm like, why can't I pick up on this? I hate it. I don't want to do it. And I recently realized that part of that is I'm healing. We have energy centers within our bodies, different chakras. And so for me, I'm realizing that I need to heal my sacral chakra, the chakra that is my center for creativity, so creation. As a woman as well, that is my womb space. That is literally where I create life. So if I'm unwilling to create because it seems difficult, that's a blockage. So what is my blockage there? What have I created before that had but my sidereal moon is in Cancer. So I do have some Cancer and mother energy. I'm very much a mother. I think I was a mother in another life. And this is not a blunt TikTok. This is Sage. And I forgot what the hell I was saying. Oh, creating. So it's important for me to realize what my blockages are. This is how you can tap in with you. This is why it's important to get off the internet sometimes, so you can see what your natural energy is. What are you naturally drawn to do? What is your natural reaction when shit happens? When shit hits the fan, is your natural reaction to retreat? When shit goes wrong, are you a problem solver? When you are down and out, do you decide to logic through your emotion, or do you decide to feel your emotion? This is how you get to know yourself, so you can know what you need to heal. Because a lot of us, we talk about, I'm a Libra, I am a Libra, the sun is in Libra, or it's moving into Libra today. Libra gang. A lot of us may operate. Okay, let me first say this. All of us are all of the signs. If you don't know your birth chart or haven't looked up your birth chart, I think that is very important. That's one of the biggest steps that you can take to getting to know yourself. And I say this because as a Libra, I spent a lot of my life in the shadow aspect of being a Libra. My Libra sun, mind you, my sun is not all of me. I have a moon, I have rising, I have different planets in different houses and shit like that. And so I was in reflection realizing that I was very much a people pleaser. Now, a lot of us are people pleasers. This doesn't mean that everybody's a Libra that's a people pleaser. But there was imbalance within me. I was not able to, or willing to, give without wanting something back. I was giving to look like I was a giver. I was, agreeing with people because I wanted them to feel included, and not doing, just like not operating in my highest, not choosing me. I'm choosing them every single time because I'm thinking, well, if I choose you, then you're going to know I'm worthy, right? Then you're going to know I love you, right? And then that means you're going to choose me in return. No. You look up your birth chart on the internet. You have to know your date of birth, the time you were born, and where you were born. And you could look it up. I use astro.com. Very easy. Yeah. So I would start there. But it's important for you to know who it is that you are. Like my astrology chart, my birth chart, look, it's me. It's me. And I clearly, when I started to learn about different things on my chart, it has helped me so much because I'm able to use my energy for good. Like, I'm able to use my energy for the way I want to use it instead of being a victim to my own energy, right? Because the more I learned about my chart, because you're going to be learning. I feel like, I don't think I'm an astrologer. I don't know if that's my calling in this lifetime to be an astrologer, to help people with their own astrology. I just know enough. about my chart, and then I end up talking to people like y'all about your charts. But the more I have learned about myself, the more I know I don't know about myself. Like when you look, we start with the sun, moon, rising, right? And so these are like the big three. Everybody says this is the biggest parts of your chart that has the most, like, I guess, overpowering energy. But also looking at what elements are in your chart. Are you heavy in the water and maybe not so much in the fire? You know, so that might mean you may, mind you, I'm not an astrologer. That might mean that you are more tapped into your emotions than you are with taking action. You might be more settled in your emotions, or you might just be a more emotional person. You might not be able to grasp your emotions. This is just what I know about the elements. So looking at that can also help you in how you pursue things in your life. So I know, like for instance, your Mars, where Mars is in your chart, and what planet, what house it's in and what sign it's in. If you are trying to work towards something or trying to work on something, you can tap in and see, okay, what do I normally do? Like, what does the Mars in Cancer do? If that's your placement. And you can take it even deeper. Look at the degree of that placement. What that means. So, fact, being a victim to your own energy. Sometimes we just are. Like, if you don't know yourself, I feel like you're always going to be a victim to yourself. Because you don't know what the fuck you're going to do. You don't know. So how you gonna make moves? You know what I'm saying? How you going to do things that serve you if you don't know what your shadow energy is? And I'm not saying shadow is a bad thing, but a lot of us are operating in our shadow and are not even aware. So it's important for you to know yourself. That's why the title of this live is like, do you know your gifts? I think that's the title. I don't see it no more. But do you know your gifts? Because we're all gifted. We don't all have the same gifts because we don't even all have the same life experience. Excuse me. You don't know. And it's okay to not know, but now what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Too many of us get stuck in the, I don't know. It's a lot of shit we don't know. If there's anything I've learned on my journey is the more I know I don't know shit. And it's up to me to find out what the answers are. Stopping at I don't know. Because that's normal. You don't know. Or you may think you don't know. Because I think that we all know. We just haven't tapped in to find the answers. So it's really important for you to ask the question. And it's important for you. And now, so feel how you feel, my love, about what I'm about to say. But like I said, I coach Black women. I work with Black people. And so I specifically talk about connecting with my ancestors because I'm not saying y'all don't have divine. I'm not saying people that are not Black don't have divine and benevolent ancestors, but I can only speak for me. Okay? I can only speak for what I know. And I am a big fan of, I'm not smoking. It is sage. I am a big fan of asking my ancestors as well. That's my bloodline. Those are the people that came before me that know things. That know a lot. So do you have an ancestor altar? Do you give offerings to your ancestors? If you are a person that believes, in whatever higher power you believe, do you talk to them when you don't know? Or do you just stop at, I don't know the answer, so I'm going to just chill? Again, this is not... See, now, disrespectful. This is why, I don't know, how do you block people on here? Talking about definitely the first Black woman I can say is hot. Babe, get the fuck out of here. Don't come on here with the disrespect. Thanks. We don't play those games. Thanks. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Cleansing that up out of here. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. I do. Because TikTok be wildin'. I feel like I noticed this mainly on TikTok and YouTube, where people come out of nowhere that don't even follow you. Because, I mean, I know it come up on the For You page, like people come up on live. But like people just be coming up in here doing that like, keep that negative energy elsewhere. But I send you love because I know that you don't know yourself. Because I ain't never hopped in on nobody live saying no disrespectful shit, even before I started my awakening. But then there's a lot of smoke. Clearly Spirit said, clear that shit out. Okay, clear it out. But they just need love right now. Because there's no way that you love yourself and you're out here going to pick at other people. You can't. Because you know how much work it takes to love you. Like I said, a lot of us have been told to think that we ain't shit. So if I'm learning to love me, I can only imagine how much work it takes for you to love yourself. So how dare I enter your space and come for you to make you feel any sort of way about yourself? Now, this is not saying that I won't ever speak my mind, because if I got something to say, I got something to say. But I'm not going to attack nobody's character. I'm not going to come. Like, if I don't like what I see, I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm going to move around. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to stay in spaces that you don't like to be in. And that's where a lot of us get stuck too. You feel like you got to be somewhere. You feel like you have to do something. You ain't got to do nothing you don't want to do. You don't. And the fact that you think that is just an indicator of your disempowerment. And it's not a negative thing. It is simply, you need to learn your power. You need to learn what you're capable of. And that takes time. That takes time. That takes effort. That takes intentional energy to get to know yourself and get to know your power. I did not just show up like this, y'all. Like, I'm about to be 29 in October. I'm about to be 29. And I started my intentional healing journey when I was 26. A little before I was 26. No, it was a little before I was 27. So it's taken work, and it still takes work. This is a good day. Let's start there. You know, there are some days where I feel like I don't have power over anything, and I have to be reminded. Yes, it is so rocky. And it's gonna be rocky, boo. Like, it's gonna be rocky. It's not always gonna be fun, but like, that's what you work. For me, that's what gives me the reassurance. It's like these moments when the sun is just shining down on me, reminding me of my beauty, reminding me of my worthiness. That's what makes this shit worth it. And you are worth it, because as you heal, you don't only heal yourself. You can heal past versions of yourself. You can heal past, like, in your bloodline, in your lineage. You know, you can heal forward as well, especially like for I'm talking about women, you know, that are desiring to birth, you know, desiring to bring forth spirits into the physical realm. The more you heal yourself, the less healing they have to do, because all of your babies are within you, and your grandbabies and your great grandbabies, I think, too. So the more you heal, like, I just did a yoni scene today and did a powerful release, like an intentional release from my yoni space, because I know that's where I hold a lot. Women hold that shit in our sacral chakra, in our womb space, in our hips. So the more you can release, the more you can heal, the more you are liberating yourself, your ancestors, and your descendants. So do that shit. It's worth it. It's hard. And those are the moments where you have to focus on what it is that you want in your journey as well. Now, if there's any advice I can give to y'all, because I know y'all said y'all just started, start asking the universe, start asking the divine for your tribe, because they are going to help you get through. You are not meant to do this shit alone. You're not. And it's one of the reasons I created my Get Your Shit Together program, is because I started my journey in 2019, and I spent all of 2019. Well, I started in I don't know when exactly, but I know it was in 2019. And I was alone. Mind you, I told you I was living with my family. They were mostly Christian as well, or like believing in things that were different than me. And I spent that until over a year essentially by myself, thinking I was crazy. Cause I had nobody to talk to about this shit. My family didn't understand. My friends at the time, I'm the weirdo that's like messing with crystals now. So like I couldn't talk to nobody. And so you feel down and out. You feel like, what's the point? Because I'm doing this shit and it ain't making no sense. But baby, if you're drawn to that, you are meant to heal. So if there's anything you need to start asking for and looking for, is your tribe, your divinely aligned soul tribe, your family, your soul family, those that know you. Because they do. When I, like, y'all, I didn't even know. See, these are the things this is why I know I'm meant to teach this to y'all. It's because when I started my journey, these are the things that I was just doing, but I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know that that's what I was supposed to do. So that's why I teach it now. Because there's a lot of us that don't have that innate nature or innate knowing to do those things. I'm not saying you don't have your own innate wisdom, but if you're led somewhere, it's so that you can receive something that you need on your journey. So I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you get what you need from me. Because, is that my brother, y'all? That's my twin. I got a twin brother. That's my twin brother. I'm like, wait, Breezy, I know him. So it's important for you to like find your people. And I'm gonna let you know when you ask and you shall receive. And it may not be in a day, it may not be in a month, but when I tell y'all my tribe is one of my most sacred. I'm so appreciative of my tribe because they see me. And there's by my love, there's so many moments where they spoke to my soul and they didn't even know. I mean, but I tell them now because they're my soul tribe. I be like, girl, I start crying because I'm like, how did you know to say that to me? Because you part of my tribe. And there's moments where I do the same for them where you just know because you're spiritually aligned. And so when you're around a whole bunch of people that you're not spiritually aligned with, you will experience confusion. You will experience a clash of energy. You will experience feeling displaced or misplaced. So it's important for you to figure out where you're supposed to be. And it will be shown to you, it will be revealed clearly to you as you pay attention. So it's really important for you to pay attention. Again, I'm giving y'all all the gems that I give in my paid program. So if you feel like you want to tip, definitely tip, babe, because this is an energy exchange. My Cash App is Loving the Journey. It's the same as this TikTok name. But one of the first things I ask is like, when you around your friends, how you feel? When you around your family, how you feel? Do you feel anxious? Are you feeling like you gotta go? Are you feeling unwell, physically unwell when you're around these people? That's an indicator. We be thinking like, and I'm a person that lives with anxiety. We be thinking that, I'm just anxious. I'm always anxious. No, babe. You're not supposed to be around that motherfucker. You're not. And for those of you that have your own home space, who doesn't want to come over anymore? Who told you they don't feel comfortable there anymore? Who no longer calls because all you talk about is that woo-woo frou-frou shit? Who starts making a mockery of what you believe? Those are not the members of your tribe. Those are not your people. So again, I say stop sharing space and spending time with people who don't see you and are not willing to see you. Because you think that just because you grew up around them or that, you think that your world is so small. It's not. Your world is ginormous. So you need to believe that though. You need to expand and realize that I don't have to just be here. I don't. And once you decide that, You've opened the door and you can now leave. And just because you don't know what's on the other side of that door does not mean you should not leave. It doesn't. That, I feel like that's the indicator that you should, because at least it's something different than what the fuck you experiencing. And I think I run into this a lot with clients or potential clients who I realize are not ready to do the work, is that you know that you don't like where you are, but you don't know what's going to happen when you do something different. And the fear of that reality overpowers you, and it debilitates you. So it's really important for you to decide, because you're always making a choice. Are you choosing to stay where you are? Are you going to choose to go the road less traveled? Are you going to choose to go a place where you don't know? Think about when you travel, literally, like when you fly somewhere you've never been. You figuring shit out, right? But that's part of the adventure. That's part of the excitement. It's like experiencing something new. And it's also part of the fear. It's because you don't know. That's why a lot of people don't travel. Like, that's why a lot of people talk bad about other countries, because they know what the news says. And mind you, we cannot trust them. And so when you're trusting sources of people that ain't even been where you trying to go, on your own journey, you trust in people who have not been where you are trying to go, and you trust in what they're saying. I'm going to say it one more time. You are trusting people who have not been where you are trying to go. Why? Why? They don't know, just like you don't know. But you have a calling. You have an inkling that you should go in that direction. And these people who have not even thought about the path that you're trying to take, and they're telling you not to go. Babe, don't listen. Don't listen. All right, all you haters can skedaddle. Get off my live. What's going on here is that I'm sharing what I know. And you will be blocked if you say anything that is not in alignment with me or in alignment with this message. The Most High is within you, so you only trust yourself. That I want us to also realize that when we place our power on something outside of ourselves, that is also disempowering. Now, I believe in a higher power, because there has to be. There's no way one of us created all of this. Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that which created me is within me. It has to be. So if that is within me, I'm also the Most High. And I'm not calling myself a God. I'm saying I have God energy within me, because the Creator created me. None of us know who the Creator is, right? Everybody says a different thing. But what we do know is that whatever it is, it created us. So it's within us. And I'm just reminding TikTok, this is not a blunt. I'm not smoking. This is sage. And y'all too. Cleansing the energy, because whoever just came up in here talking that bullshit as well. And when I do come and do my lives, I am going to need some moderators moving forward. I see now. Thank you. These are very old. I don't even know where I got these from. And they're also cheap. My goal in life is one of my goals in life is to have real gold jewelry. I was sharing with y'all before, like I've had an impoverished background. Not severely impoverished, but poor enough to think that I couldn't ever have enough. And so I'm used to just always going for the cheap thing. And so I'm teaching myself to get luxury for myself that's not in the form of just going on a trip. Like, I deserve quality. I like even clothes. Like, I used to only shop at the phone is about to die, y'all, so I'm about to have to get off. But I used to only shop at places that were like the deal, because I always had to shop for a deal. That's not my reality anymore. So even thinking about that, I say, get to know yourself. What is your natural inclination? My natural inclination is to go for the low of the low. And what is that saying about me? That what I deserve the cheapest? No, and I don't. I'm glad you came too. And it's important for you to tell yourself you deserve more. Like, even in the grocery store, y'all, I be having moments now like, why am I shopping for the cheapest can of beans? I want the organic. I deserve to have organic within my body. And the abundance will flow so that I can continue to put good, high vibrational foods in my body. I used to only drink tap water because why I gotta get a filter? That's for rich people. Babe, I'm rich. The money may not be there yet, but I know I am a rich being. So I got the filter. Okay? Because I deserve to have pure, clean water in my vessel. Not water with everything that came from everybody. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to end it there because my phone is going to die and I want to say, I know it saves for me. And I'll post this live on YouTube. The link to my YouTube is in my bio. So thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all for sharing space and sharing energy. I'm sending you love and light. And thank y'all. I appreciate you. Love you. Peace out.